Hi guys, welcome to another video. So in this video, we're going to be talking about why learn Python in 2022, okay? So you guys can see here my desktop on my second monitor, which I have this wallpaper from Intel Arc, which are the upcoming GPUs from Intel, which were supposed to be out now, but they aren't. And this is just some rambling, so you guys can see here. I think it's pretty cool, this wallpaper. So I'm gonna open up Notepad, and we're gonna be talking about uh, why learn Python. So we're gonna be writing the reasons why you should learn Python. So I'm gonna try to position myself in a better way. So, and we're gonna be talking about the top 5 reasons to learn Python. I'm gonna be thinking about them as we go along with the video. Okay. So the first one that I can think about is the from the top 5 reasons to learn Python is that it's easy. So why do I mean by Python being easy? So if you're trying to learn something, the barrier for entry is the biggest thing that will stop you. So let's say that I want to learn a foreign language. Let's say Mandarin. So Mandarin is famous for being very difficult. So if I want to be good at Mandarin, I should expect to study at least 5 years or 4 years. I don't know how many years it would take for me to learn Mandarin. So you guys can see that Python, it's easy. So let's get start with the title. Top 5 reasons to learn Python in 2022. So the first one's easy. You can learn Python in about a month. Let's say if you're a beginner, I cannot see my keyboard. I need to learn how to type without looking at the keyboard. Because I have my mic blocking my vision, my peripheral vision of the keyboard. Let me put this here. Okay, I'm trying to. Okay, let's say if you are a beginner, okay, if you are a beginner, you should expect to learn Python. Let me try. Okay, let me see here what I can do to try to have this in a way in which I can position myself better, even though I have my monitor close to me. Okay, now I think it's better. Okay, so if you are a beginner, I'm gonna try to make this easier for you guys to to read. Okay, I'm gonna use this indentation, which is a very Pythonic way of editing code, which is using tabs or for spaces. Okay, there's a huge discussion about which one's better. You guys could use both if you want to. So if you are a beginner, you can learn Python in about 3 months. Okay, everything, including how to install, how to use the basics, how to write a library, how to run some more advanced code. So even if you are a beginner, I think you can learn most of the language in about 3 months. There are more complicated stuff that will take you more time to learn, but those are more specific things like writing libraries, try using libraries to optimize code like Numba or something more complex like data science. So that would take you more time, but this is not about learning Python itself. It's learning about something else, like something more specific. Okay. With that in mind, let's let's see if you are intermediate. Let's say that you already know how to code in C, C++, C sharp. I think that time, if you are if you are a intermediate, you can learn Python in about a month. Okay, you learn Python in a month. Okay. That is because if you already know the basics of a language, you know exactly what you need to learn. Like you're gonna learn how to print a message. Like if you open up CMD here, we're gonna see exactly what I'm talking about. So Python has an advantage of being a interactive language, which means that if I have Python installed on my computer, okay, I can just type Python and I can start writing Python code here. So print hello. Okay, this is how you guys can see here hello. If I type 2 times 3 and got 6. So Python is very interactive. You can test Python code directly into your browser, into your terminal. I got a tongue slip there. So if you're intermediate, you can learn Python in a month. So if you are very advanced, if you already know a lot of, if you are like a hacker or a advanced programmer, you can learn Python in a week. Okay. So there is no reason for you to not know how to program in Python. Even if this is your first language, you should try to at least see the advantages of learning Python. If you are a beginner, I think you should learn Python first to see if you like coding, because I think most people do not enjoy coding. It's not because coding itself is bad. It's because using a language to write code is bad. It's painful. So if you know that the language itself is good, at least in a usability sense, you can use the language more easily. So let's go to the second reason, which is that Python is powerful. Okay. And there is some discussions about the speed of running Python code. So Python itself, it's not a very fast language because it's interpreted. I need okay, I cannot pronounce that word now. Interpret and interpreted. Okay. Okay, I need to learn how to pronounce that word. I'm not going to do that now. Okay. It's just I cannot remember. So, because you need to interpret the language, Python takes a couple of cycles to run a the code. So Python is not a high. Python is a high level language, which means that it runs on top of other things, and it does not directly run into machine code, which is what C and C++ runs on. The advantages of this is that you can run Python on every machine. You don't need to compile the code. I think you can actually compile Python code, but that is more specific for other stuff that is out of the scope of this video. But Python is powerful because it is easy to set up, okay? And by that, I mean that you can set up Python on almost every computer. So it runs on Windows, Linux, macOS. It runs even on Android, okay? You can run Python on Android. And I'm gonna make a video on that. So it runs on Let's go. Windows, Linux, macOS, and Android. Okay. So even if you have all you have right now, even if all you have right now is an Android phone or smartphone, you can still learn Python. So it's powerful because it can run everywhere. It's also powerful because of a thing called data science. And data science is the reason why Python is so popular nowadays. Because I don't know exactly what was the catalyst of this fact, but data science it's one of the most interesting things that you can do with coding, with programming in general. Data science is going to be the next generation of computer programs because you don't need to specifically write a code by hand to do something. The computer will learn how to do that, and that allows to newer things that weren't possible to do before. Okay, so this is another thing. Because Python is used in this field of data science, Python is also very teachable, which is something that not many people think about because teaching a language is something that's very difficult. So if you're trying to get people into coding, this is the most important thing to have in mind. So getting people into coding, basically. So this is getting people into coding. This is the reason why Python is powerful. There's there's another reason like everywhere there's a library. Let's go. There's a library for everything, and like I mean everything. So if you want to do something, there's probably a library to do that in Python. So if you guys don't think this is a huge deal, it is. It is one of the biggest things in Python. So we see that Python is easy, Python is powerful, and the third reason is Python is. Let me think about another reason. I'm gonna think about mature. Let's go with mature, which is something that many people don't think about. So Python has many flaws, but it is a mature language, and by that I mean that is something that has been existing for quite a while. So Python is older than Java, for example. Okay, many people don't know that, but Python is older than Java. It is a it has an ecosystem. It has a foundation, which is the Python Foundation, which controls the standards for the language. It has a standard. It has a standard. It has a standard. So Python is not gonna die overnight. Okay, so there are many languages that come and go, and Python is gonna be probably top five for the next 20 years. I wanna bet that. Okay, I'm gonna bet that Python is gonna be top five for the next 20 years. The other ones that I think are gonna be top five is gonna be JavaScript, Java, and maybe Go, Rust, and Python. I think it's gonna be the languages of the future for next. So Rust has been growing recently, and I think that trend will continue for the foreseeable future for a while. So Python is mature, has a standard. It has, as I said, lots of frameworks. It probably has one of the biggest frameworks in the world. Um, the other thing that I need to think about Python, which is the reason for, and that's probably is going to be is going to encompass a lot of what we talked before, which is pip. Okay, so pip, which if I'm not mistaken, it means Python install package. If I'm not mistaken, it's one of the most interesting things that Python have that I think a lot of languages do not have, at least in until a couple of years ago, which is a library of packages. So remember that I said that Python has a library for everything. Well, pip is where those libraries live in. So I think one of the most important things when it comes to solving a problem is try to use the tools to solve the problem. And this is kind of a rambling for my part, but I think the first library that I used in Python was OpenCV for computer vision because I already had used that library in C Sharp or C Sharp.net, and there were already a Python version of that. And I'll probably bring a tutorial series on how to use OpenCV in C Sharp and Python, which is a very interesting library for computer vision. So because of pip, you can do pretty much everything. Okay, so I need to think about the last one, which let me think about the last reason to use Python. I'm gonna go with a word. I think this one should be capitalized, right? Just to give a nice formatation. So number reason 5. What would that be? I need to think about a reason. Okay, let's go to feature. Okay. I'm gonna go with it. So the last point is feature. And by that, I mean that Python in the point 3, I said that it's gonna be with us for at least the foreseeable future. So if you learn Python today, it's not gonna die soon. Rip Python 2, okay? Rip Python 2, okay? Which was with us until I think 2020. But Python 3 is going to be with us for, I think, I hope for at least 10 years, and then it's going to be Python 4 and Python 5 and so on. So if you learn Python, you can do a lot of stuff. And I'm going to be adding more points here. So you can do everything with Python, okay? So some languages you use them just to do some stuff like if you want to do a mobile app, you should learn Java. People would say 5 years ago or 10 years ago. If you want to make a mobile app, you just learn Java and you're going to use Java to write code into Android Studio, and we're going to be making mobile apps. But there is something that most people don't like about that is because you're gonna need to learn entirely. If you don't know Java, né? Okay, I just spoke in Portuguese. If you didn't know Java up until that point, you would need to learn entirely new language. In Java, it's gonna be taking you about a year, I think, to be good at Java. And that you're gonna need to learn how to use the framework, and that's a huge learning curve to do. So, and that's good just to be able to do mobile apps. Okay, of course, Java can be used to do some web stuff, desktop stuff, which Java and C Sharp and Python can do most of things. You not be going to be writing web applications with C++. You can, but you shouldn't really. That's that's shooting self in the foot. I should cut that apart now. Okay, so you can do desktop. Okay, you can do. Let's go. You can do desktop. You can do web, and you can do mobile. So those are how powerful Python is. Okay, and let me think about another thing. And of course, you can use other tools to do this. Web, you can use Django. Desktop, you can use Tinker. You can use Kiwi. Kiwi is more for mobile. Okay. So to desktop, you're gonna use PyQt. Né? Okay. I'm don't know why I'm speaking Portuguese. We're gonna use PyQt. Web, you're gonna use Django. And mobile, we're gonna use Kiwi. Okay. So just those. Okay, you also can use here. You can use Tkinter. Okay. So here you guys can see those are entire subjects that you need to learn in order to do that, but you don't need to learn a new language. And if you know how to, if you have a tool in that language, you can port that over. Okay. So I think this is enough for the top 5 reasons to learn Python. You guys can see there's a ton of stuff that I try to compress in this presentation. And if you guys have any suggestions, you guys can comment down below, okay? So thank you guys for watching this video. See you guys in the next one.